Beautiful people, welcome to it, man. Today it is a Monday, and yes, you guys do know that iveki siyayivula ke and siyivula kamnandi siyivula nani right here on the Hangout and also only on channel 260. And yes, kebetunana elam igama, it is Uzinhle Ngeza, and today I am going to be your bestie from this very minute until the last one, which will be 4:30, serving you all the goodness that you guys at home need to know about, and also having conversations with people abenza kakuhle between phakathi careers zabo. So please make sure that you guys are staying tuned, and also please do not forget to engage with us on all our social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV, and also we do have our WhatsApp line available so that you can be able to send through your voice notes and everything that you guys need to say to us, and also just to create engagement in between us. And also we do have our lovely other platform that you can be able to find us on, which is called Free Vision Play. All you have to do is to just download it, and also just like that you can be able to watch us live as we are going live onto the DSTV channel. But let's go and hang out.
So a few years ago, I decided to offer a service of CV writing. And the reason why I decided to do that is because I honestly felt bad with the level of CVs that I was seeing out there. You know, whenever we would sit as a panel looking at CV for, for appointing for a certain position, and I'd look at the CVs, that's when I realized that a lot of people just do not know how to go about crafting their CV. They just do not know how to put their CV in the best way that it highlights their strengths and their abilities, but more than anything, it positions them well for the job that they're applying for. I decided to offer the service of CV writing. So I've been doing this for some years now, I think about 3 years now, and I paused it last year for a little bit. Beginning of the year, I got back into it. I think so far, even just for this year, I have edited so many CVs just between January and February. I think almost every week I have about more than 5 CVs that I work on. Even with the CVs that I still receive, it has shown me that there's honestly lack of understanding in terms of how do you best position yourself so that you get in the room. Guys, the most important thing, and it's thundering, the most important thing for a CV is to get you in the room. Once you have mastered that idea of how to get that, then I can tell you that you are highly likely to be interviewed for many of the jobs that you apply for. But so long as you do not understand that the role of a CV is to get you in the room, you constantly write CVs that do not position you well. So with this video, I want to help you best position yourself so that you are able to get those interviews, so that you get in the room. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just speaking just because Jennifer just likes to speak. I do like to speak, I'm speaking as someone that has sat through various recruitment panels. Some of those been a chairperson, some of those just been a member, but through that I have observed things that are very crucial whenever you are writing your CV, things that matter. So we are going to be breaking those things down, you guys. Before we get into that, let me first introduce myself to anyone who's new here. My name is Jennifer Zanele Ngumalo. I'm a public servant, a content creator, as well as a businesswoman. I create content on finances as well as lifestyle and also career. Recently, I got a thingy. Someone commented on one of my videos that I posted a while ago that was on how to write a CV, how to prepare for interviews, because I've created those videos previously. And she said, I'm sorry if you can hear the thunder, and she said, hi Jen, just wanted to thank you for how to get a job in government 3-part series. I created a 3-part series on my YouTube channel a while ago. Your tip helped me ace my interview, and I've been appointed as a lecturer. May God bless you endlessly for sharing your wisdom. So for me, the reason why I create this content, the reason why I offer this service, you guys, is because, as I said, I have seen how people just write their CVs in a way that I just feel like it's like a person is throwing that CV away. And it pains me when I see those CVs, and I can see how much people really want these jobs, but the way that they're portraying themselves is just not good. This is my honest advice for anyone that wants to secure a job. This is not just for anyone, but someone who is intentional, someone who has decided that, yay, Nkatele, I want to grow, or I want to secure the job. Maybe you finished your internship, but ever since you haven't gotten a job, then this video is for you. So what is the first thing that I need you to understand? understand is that you need to stop writing a CV because this is how you want to write it, but write it in a way that it positions you for the job that you're applying for. Stop trying to think a CV is just about you. A CV is not just about you, but a CV is about you in terms of how you are the best fit for the job. If you do not understand this, you constantly throw away your CV. So stop writing a CV based on how you want it to look like, but rather on how it must look like so that it best positions you for the job. It aligns you well to the job. Ne? So that's the first thing that you need to do. Secondly, you need to learn to keep your CV short and concise and clean. This thing of you wanting to have long CV is not going to work for you. I hope that if this audio is horrible, I'm going to have to redo this video. But for now, let's just keep going. So you need to keep your CVs short, clean, and concise in a way that it portrays what are your skills, what are your work experience, and what is your education. Those are the most crucial point when it comes to the CV. And the way that you can keep your CV short, clean, and concise is that you need to I'm going to say this. You need to understand that not every work experience that you have is important. Yes, you have it under your belt, but it's not important. And what do I mean? There are certain positions that are very clear in terms of what is it that is needed from you. And then there's experience that you have that is like 10 years old, 12 years old that you still have in your CV, and you find that it's not even relevant to the jobs that you're applying for. Those need to go. For that post that you're applying for, I'm not saying that it's not important at all, but for the position that you're applying for, you might find that it is not important. So they might need to go. So you need to make sure that you keep your CV short and concise and clean, straight to the point. And the only way you'll do that is by making sure that only the relevant work experience is being portrayed in your CV. Anything that is not relevant, anything that does not show your key strengths and your abilities as it pertains to what they need for the job, let it go. Let it go. This one is very important. And I'm gonna try to say this in a very nice manner. Do not bother applying for any job if you have not taken the time to fully understand what does that job need and what does it entail. If you have not read the advert from top to bottom and you do not fully understand what it needs, do not bother applying. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because if you continue to apply in that case, it is similar to just throwing away your CV. You are just throwing away your CV. You are applying for the sake of applying, but you are not really applying for an intention of getting interviewed. You are not applying for an intention of getting the job. So you need to understand the post that you're applying for. Read it from top to bottom. Read those requirements. Read what is going to be expected you from that job. Because why? Once you understand that, you will be able to take that experience and put it into your CV and align your CV to the job, so that when the recruiters are sitting and saying, we are looking for an administrative assistant, and these are the things that are going to be expected out of this person, these are the minimum requirements, as they go through your CV, they will be able to tick those things, that this person has the qualification, this person has the experience, this person has done these certain duties that make them ideal for this position, that shows that this person meets what you are looking for. You also want to look at the skills of that position. What is it that they're looking for? And make sure that it is properly highlighted in your CV or properly spoken about in your CV. This makes the job of the recruiters easy, because if a position of an administrative assistant says we want someone that is good in communication skills as well as computer skills, you want your CV to show the level of computer skills that you have. You want it to show that it's not just computer skills, but what in computer skills. You want to also show that in communication, what in communication skills? Do you understand that there is the written as well as verbal communication? Those are things that you need to be portraying in your CV. So what I'm saying is, do not apply for any jobs until you have fully understood what is required from the job. Because if you do not do that and you continue applying, it is same as throwing away your CV, and you constantly wonder, why are they not calling you? It's because you do not meet what they are looking for. The worst part is that if you do not meet the minimum requirements, your CV does not even make it to the panel that is going to sit and interview you. It will be there, it will be amongst the people that just do not meet the requirements, and it will be under the list of the no's. So you want to make sure that you're applying for the jobs that you see that you meet the minimum requirement, and then over and above meeting the minimum requirements, you are also making sure that your CV shows how is it that you are the best candidate for the job. And then the last thing that I wanted to speak about before I close this video is that I am going to be hosting, I think it's going to be about 4 weeks or 6 weeks workshop. Still going to decide on the logistics. This workshops, guys, is for someone that is intentional, someone that says, you know what, I want to get that next job. I want to put out a CV that I'm proud of. I want to make sure that when they call me, that I will be able to sell myself. So in this workshop, we were looking at first fixing your mindset. Already there are people that are giving up. They feel like there are no jobs out there for them, and thus they are giving up. This is the first part. We'll be dealing with your mindset. Others, they're also just demotivated. We'll work on your mindset. Secondly, we will work on how to write a proper CV. And then thirdly, we will work on how to prepare yourself for an interview. And we'll literally start preparing for interviews that we have not been called for. You will start preparing possible questions for positions that you have not even been called for, because they need to find you ready. For you to get that next job, it needs to find you ready. It can't find you sleeping. It can't find you resting. You need to be ready. You need to be in a position whereby if that call comes through to say, come through for an interview, that you are ready. You have gotten that anxiety out of yourself. There are people that will literally sit in front of a panel. They get so nervous to a point whereby they can't articulate themselves. So with this workshop, we are going to be working on how do you gain confidence to properly articulate yourself. Scared as you may be, worried as you may be, anxious as you may be, you still need to get your points across. When I sit in front of a panel, it's not that I'm okay. It's not that everything is just pashash. I am literally shaking as I'm speaking, but I've learned the art of still, even though I may be scared, even though I may be worried, to still be able to articulate myself. And the more that I'm articulating myself and saying the right things, I feel it, and it gives me confidence to keep going in that interview.
Beautiful people, welcome back to it. And yes, you are still tuned in on the Hangout. And right now, I am sitting next to Usesetu Gomo Seibokwe, right here on the Hangout. And what's funny is that I even asked her before we even went live, how do I pronounce it? But I hope that she is going to forgive me. But okay, and also get to hear about Yena Ungubani and also what is it that she does, and get to talk about also a business here, because we know that on Monday it is all related to business, and she's here to just give us tips on how to go about it, and also if you also want to enter the industry, how you can go about it as well. But first of all, let us welcome her onto the Hangout. My dear, I'm so sorry.
All is forgiven.
Lovely stuff. Welcome to the Hangout. Welcome to our studios. Let's get to know you for people at home to get to understand about Ungubani, Wenzandoni. Let's get to know Usesetu Ungubani and also Wenzandoni.
Usesetu, if I were to describe myself in 3 words, I would say that I'm a doer, that I'm a believer, and that I'm a facilitator of change. So by that, I mean, in terms of things that I put my mind to, and things that need to be getting done, I am one of those people who make sure that things get done, and not just in a general way, but in an excellent way that, will stand out. I'm a believer in the sense that I believe that greater is He that is within me. So I base a lot of my core values on my Christian beliefs that, a lot of the things that I've achieved and a lot of the things that I've accomplished are not just through my doing or because of luck, I believe that there is definitely a greatness that is greater than me. And then I'm a facilitator of change in the sense that, since I was a young child, my mom was a teacher, and we always used to help her with either e-marking, scripts law, and, help her put together notes, or, do some kind of administration. And at the time, we felt like, oh, this is such a bane. Why are we being involved and roped into this? But a large chunk of my adult life and even in my business, I facilitate a lot of dialogues, I train, I teach, and I lecture. So outside of those things, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, a sister, and yeah, I'm just all of those people.
Lovely stuff. And also talking career-wise, you are someone who has dabbled into so many spaces. There's a part where also you're a radio broadcaster. There's also a part where you are a person who is behind communications. You do PR for people. You do marketing for brands. Let's talk about that, and also your love of being in that space. When did that spark? Did it spark at a young age, or when you were starting to choose your career? Was it something that you were forced in because of limitations of opportunities as well?
Not at all. I think from a very young age, I always wanted to be a storyteller. And I think that has traveled and has lived within me ever since I was young. When it was Christmas or Easter, like when you're young, and then you'd be like those kids dancing there, or you'd make up a skit with your sister or with my cousins. So I think storytelling has always been an integral part of who I am. And I remember even in grade 9, my science teacher was asking me, she said, what do you want to do? And I said, you know what, I want to be on TV. And she's like, you know what, you really don't need to continue with science then. Because I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I think even from my career choice, it was going from, the norm. And my dad was an HR manager at the time. And he said, no, you have to do maths and science. Otherwise, you need something to fall back on, in the traditional kind of, the traditional kind of culture. So fortunately, having the career guidance that a lot of what I do is language related, a lot of what I do is facilitation, and a lot of what I do is a lot of writing. So I would then have to look at things that hone into those particular skills. So I ended up taking history. I ended up taking home economics, and I ended up taking French as a third language. So that also came into play later on when I worked at the 2010 World Cup. When the Congolese journalists would come down, and my French was pretty conversational, so I could understand. But okay, they're saying they're requiring this, they want to find directions to that, and I felt that at the time when I made those decisions, they were very unpopular. But later on in my life, they played a very impactful role in my career and what I do today. So from a writing perspective as well, a lot of the copywriting that I have to do for clients and for other companies comes in very handy when I have the background of, focusing on my English reading from a very young age, and also the history element of, being able to put together concise pieces of work. So I think from a very young age, the stars were aligning, even though at times it seemed like you're not making the right choice, or you're taking an unconventional route, but it's definitely paid off now.
Lovely. And also, I just want to understand, in terms of, yes, you went to school, you went to study, but now there is the part whereby you have to go onto the field and also practice what you got to learn from a school, because there are some people that do not know how to adapt. So let's get to talk about you now having to adapt into the real world and also taking what you were taught into practicality now.
Okay. So a lot of what I have been taught, a lot of it I don't really even remember. But one of the things that one of my very, very first bosses used to say was that it's not always about what you earn, but it's about what you learn. So in those years, when doing my 40 hours, I had to do a 40-hour program to complete my qualification, I was kind of thrown into the deep end where I had to work on a project called the South African Automotive Week. And one of those experiences literally shifts the way you see anything and everything. And it's not even about what I studied, because when you look at media and when I looked at communications, I thought, the hypodermic needle theory.
Yeah.
Right now, we need to make sure that the delegation is here on time. We need to make sure the speakers are working. We need to make sure that everything is in running order. Does the theory apply to what I'm doing right now? Not necessarily. So don't take too much of what you think, oh, I've studied this and I've cum laude that and I was great at this. But learning on the job and understanding, opening yourself up to lots of different experiences really helps shape you for the future. And also that there's no job that's too small or too great. So going into the field thinking that I have an honors in corporate communication did not exempt me from sweeping up after an event, from stacking the tables and chairs, from doing all the things that you think that you shouldn't, as someone who studied, have done. Because those are the lessons that kind of really hone in and train you to become a well-versed person in the long run. So, so to your question, A, it's not always what you earn, but what you learn. And secondly, not to put your nose in the ground and hope everyone will see your work.
Yeah.
When you are, there's a saying that says, when you're not findable, you're not fundable. So make sure that uzinhle is known and your work is excellent and it speaks for you. That will advocate for you even in spaces where you might not have trade yet. And even if there is something that is controversial that is being spoken, there can be a track record that says, no, but uzinhle has done A, B, and C, and she does everything that she needs to do on time. So that is where the brand building element comes in. And I found that, a lot of people think that, brand building is only for PRs, it's only for people in broadcast, it's only for people who are in the public eye.
Okay.
Whereas you can build a brand in whatever vocation that you're in order to set yourself apart and to make yourself findable. Because once you're findable and people know who you are and what you are capable of doing, it advocates for you in so many different spaces and in so many different ways.
Wow, man, that is lovely. I have taken few pointers from there. But what we're going to is we're going to take a short, quick ad break, but we're still going to come back with her. So everyone at home, please stay tuned because we're still going to come back with Usesetu. And also we're going to talk more now on her business and also get to understand about what role does she get to play, and also a business yakhe, what impact does it have in the community as well. Okwangokithina ke maske sithatheni nje ithutyana sike sihambeni siyothengisa, but we'll be right back after this. Beautiful people, welcome back to it. And yes, you are still tuned in on the Hangout up again. Go channel 260, which is Mpumakapa TV. And also, nice thing is that we are also available on the free Vision Play app. And you guys know what? You guys, this is the #1 show that you need to be watching right now. Also on the station. And I mean, also in the Eastern Cape, because City Sort almost, right? And right now, we are still going to have a conversation, Naye Usesetu. And also, we're going to hear more about a business which is called SG Comms, and also get to understand about what are the services that they render, and also within a business ungafumana oluphi wena uncedo as an individual. Well, beautiful people, must be the right here on the Hangout. My dear, are you still fine?
I'm still good.
Lovely
still
stuff.
100%.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get on to it. You have a beautiful business that you started in 2017. Let's get to talk about it, and for people at home to get to understand about what is SG Comms all about.
So SG Comms is a through-the-line PR agency. It's a boutique agency that basically speaks to what our caption says, building brands and elevating experiences. Brand building in the sense that it takes whatever brand, big or small, elevates it to the ears, to the eyes that you want it to see. And then in terms of elevated experiences, creating events that, are beautifully curated, that, speak to a multitude of people and vary in size and, quality. So how it started was I was lecturing at the NMU at the time, and there was this project, and I always share this, and it still kind of irks me that it still happens to this day. that there were projects where students were, putting together their final year. They had to do an event based on a R0 budget. And you would find some of the events from the white counterparts being like a literal festival. Like there would be stalls, there'd be,
Going
a
all
live
out.
OB and all sorts of things. And you would go and see, on other groups when when you had to go and evaluate their project, and it was tough. Like it was tough. You could just see the situation that everyone has skimmed together the little that they could. And then when we go back to class and do like a review of what went wrong, what went right, how did
How can we improve? Yes.
and you'd find that sometimes it wasn't because the students didn't put in the effort. It was because there weren't enough platforms. There wasn't enough spaces that were opened up to them. So they did submit the proposals. They did submit whatever was required, but they just didn't get the responses. And unfortunately, they might not have had the networks or not have had the people who can connect them in amplifying their project. So I think SGCOM kind of started from there. And I thought, no, man, I feel like we as Black people, we as Black females, we as young females need to be represented better. And naturally, when you are the one holding the pen, you will write the best narrative of yourself.
Yeah.
If I ask someone else to write a review about Sesetu, it will be based on their experience. It will be based on how they view the world. It will be based on many, many factors. However, if you write a positive narrative about how we are and how we conduct ourselves, then that's going to open the space. And I even used to share with my honors class and say, let's challenge the status quo when pitching for adverts. You see a soap, I know I can't mention any names.
Brands, yes.
A soap advert, and then you'll see a big mama and she's like, doing the laundry. No one enjoys doing the laundry. Why can't we have a Zinhle who hops into a car, drops off the kids, puts the laundry in the washing machine to show that we have evolved as a people, that there are aspirational elements to us. Yes, it's not representative of all of us in South Africa, but can we just also have a break and also be represented in a positive way? So a lot of what SGCOMS was and is about is definitely the positive brand storytelling of people of color who are excellent. So anything and everything that just speaks to excellence and progression, we are all for that.
Lovely stuff, man. And also, let's get to talk about in terms of having to make sure that each brand is elevated and also it's improved. Let's get to talk about, because we know that in the olden days, it was quite difficult to have brands being publicized and also marketed the way that today they are. So let's get to talk about the change between the olden days and now age, meaning that the new age where technology is like playing a big part, and also how important is it for you guys as people who are within the marketing departments and also the industry?
I think it's imperative. I mean, if you are not online, you might as well be dead. AI has played a very big role and has become an enabler. A lot of people think that AI is fighting us, is taking away our jobs, etc., etc. Nothing competes with the human mind. As much as AI helps us in putting together copyrights, it helps us in proposals, it helps us, but it does not, think on our behalf. It doesn't present the humanness of it because it can't have the pulse that we as human people have, and it can't have the target and the touch points that we as humans have. So incorporating AI, I think, is very key. And I think the beauty of us being a boutique agency is the fact that we can speak to your needs specifically. So looking at from your budget, what outcomes are you looking at? A lot of people will say, oh, I want to build my business. Oh, yeah, I want my business to be great. Oh, yeah, I want to be great. And you're like, what is the outcome? Are you trying to create brand value? Are you trying to make more money? Do you want to secure more gigs? Are you trying to just have a positive brand presence? Once you understand why you want to do what you want to do, that helps us navigate the steps better. So when it comes to how things were done in the past and versus how it's done now, I think the internet has definitely changed the game. 15 years ago, there was no Facebook.
Yeah.
So everything was done through a newspaper, a magazine. It was the
Radio,
editor
TV, yeah.
who was the gatekeeper who would say yay or nay. Now, if, I don't get an opportunity at Pumakapa, I'm going to take my phone, switch on my YouTube channel, and then, press play. And based on what content I put out and what, it is that I say, I could attract different brands, and my brand can grow from there. So now we find that PR and marketing has a high level of immediacy, and you need to not compete, but actually collaborate and say, guys, I graduated a very long time ago. I'm a bit more seasoned in the game. I need young, fresh ideas. I need to find out what's going on. What are the cool songs? Like, our friend helped us out with a really cool song.
Yeah.
So what are the cool songs that are playing? And, integrate and work together in terms of producing what can be an even greater product, advert, a social media campaign, event, whatever the case may be.
Lovely stuff. And also, let's get to talk about the steps that you take someone who is coming to you guys and also trying to help them. So what guidance do you guys take them through, and also making sure that they understand what they getting themselves into, and also they understand that as a brand, it can be for a product or yourself, you need to carry yourself like this, you need to do certain things this certain way.
So firstly, I share with them that no matter who you are a brand. Whether you believe it or you don't, whether you are a 5 Rand brand, a 500 Rand brand, a 5,000 or a 500,000 or a 500 million, you are a brand.
Yeah.
So you need to understand by doing what is called a brand audit. Firstly, just by Googling who you are or what your entity is about, and seeing what information comes up there. And then taking from there, we do a brand questionnaire to say, okay, what are the questions or what are the visions that you're looking out for? What are the wins? What would you say is a win 6 months down the line? There could be my following to increase from 300 to 6,000 followers. Then we can at least say right now that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not a tangible thing unless you do paid media, etc., etc. Then once we've done the questionnaire, we look at a strategy and see what are the wins, what are the pros, what are the cons, what can we work with, what can't we work with, and then we take it from there. So each and every strategy is completely different to the next, from businesses to individuals to campaigns and events and activations.
Lovely stuff, man. And just shortly and quickly, please give people your details on where they can get you and also contact you for more other questions that they have.
So they can contact me I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Or follow our page, SG Communications, Facebook, SG Communications, Instagram, SG Comms, SG_comms. And on YouTube, I had a YouTube channel called SG Comms Corner, which gives a lot of nuggets and insights for aspiring communication specialists and just people who want to increase or clean up their brand. And we've got a website, www.sgcoms.co.za.
Lovely stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us right here on
Thank
the
you
Hangout.
so much for having me. It's so great to be back here.
Lovely stuff. Beautiful people. That was Usesethu. And you guys got to hear more about Yena Iskusake and also her business, which is called SG Comms. And also, Uchilo ke wathi nizamfumana phi xa nithe namfuna, but kithi ke ngoku dosayenza is we're going to go quickly to an ad break so that we can be able to pay our bills. Maske siboneni, what does advertisement have for us? Beautiful people, welcome back to it. And yes, you guys are still tuned in on the Hangout right here on channel 260. Please do remember that you can be able to also engage with us on all our social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV and Kemnake, it is untlentle_. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to go and check out some yoga session with Utesa, giving us some mindful movements over there. So everyone, let's check it out.
Leave me alone, you bad thoughts. You got it all wrong, Mr. Spot. You've been here too be gone. Leave me alone, you sad thoughts. There's no room for you to be blue. You've been here too long. Be gone, be gone. Be gone, be gone. What I gotta do, what I gotta do. Get some peace and quiet. What I gotta do, what I gotta do. Get rid of you. What I gotta do, what I gotta do. Get some peace and quiet. What I gotta do, what I gotta do. Get leave past the
when I no longer fear the unknown, 'cause I know what I am here for. I keep on trotting on my own path, keep on learning from my present and past, yeah. When I no longer need validation, 'cause my story is long and I'm patient. I know that I have lessons to learn, keep my eyes open each step I earn, yeah. No need for me to feel alone, 'cause I got a place that I call home. Every single road travel, every single new place I come back home, they accept me with grace.
I'm not really sure of myself. Forever try to reassure myself. Say you are strong, you are wise, love to love and feel alright. You take your time, question why no one cares or hears why. Kom med vinden, vi är här och nu. Nu är tiden inne, här och nu. Kom vi går, den tid vi har är allt vi får. Som solen skiner, så som blommor blomstra, så går vi hand i hand över skog och land. Vi är nu, vi är nu, vi är nu.
Beautiful people, that was Utessa Velman. And again, I guess she got to show us how to do certain movements in yoga. But going to into science, Tina is we're going to take a short quick ad break, but please make sure that you guys do not go anywhere because Tina's up in us. We are Beautiful people, welcome back. And right now we have came to the part enithanda kakhulu, and also sifikile kwela xesha loba siqokelele konke okokwethu so that silungiselele uba siphume ngantoni siphume ngomnyango. But before we can even do that, let us check out the geek guide that we have for you today. So starting it off, there is Umbulelo happening Thanksgiving brunch on the 18th of April. Izabe isenzeka ke pha, and also hosted by uMaxhosa, and it will be happening at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium and ke bona ke bathi World of Windows. And also you ingena ge 1,200 rands per person. So everyone, if you want to be part of that, all you have to do is to just get your tickets at www.maxhosa.africa, and that's how you're going to get your tickets. And also start going off onto our second geek guide. The one room is going to be holding their 420 reggae night volume 3, and it's happening on the 25th of April 2025. And also line up has Umomoa Shade, has Afrotronics, and also Beat Lodge, and it's going to be hosted by Ufayindlala. And also it's just going to be nice. Tickets are going for 100 rands at Quicket and also 120 at the door. So everyone, you do not want to miss that, especially if you are a reggae fan. And also on Thursday, the 17th, Mr. Taylor is going to be in GQ having the Black Impala party, and it's going to be happening there. Nak is coming on the 17th. Ticket it's 150, and also VIP is 360, and you can be able to get those tickets at CompuTicket. So that's very nice with that. And also right now we do know that Splash is coming up starting on the 18th until the 21st of April at Kings Beach, and you definitely do not want to miss it out. And also we managed to compile a few things to look back to into previous year of a Splash. So everyone check out the next one.
Make some noise, Calvetta! All right. In second place, we have Rani. Make some noise, Calvetta! Put your hands together for Rani. Well done. Hold on, Mr. DJ. Thank you. Now, in first place, once again, who do you think won? I can't hear you guys. In first place, the champion for 2022 Splash DJ competition is none other than Blackstone! Make some noise! Welcome to all the DJs.
Beautiful people, that was what actually went down to Splash on the previous years, and I'm pretty much sure that Naklona Unyaka, it's definitely going to go bigger and better. So you guys do not want to miss out. So please make sure that you guys get to see Bama Tikiten P and also get to be part. And also what is nice is that they are going to be it is going to be hosted on the weekend of Easter. So meaning that Nizai enjoy the whole long weekend. And right now get as Mpumakapa TV and also the Hangout. We just want to say thank you so much for joining us, and also please continue engagement going on our social media platforms. It is at Mpumakapa TV, and Kimnake Elam Ikama, it is Uzintle and Yafumaneka on social media as well under _, and so that is my handle. That would be Instagram and TikTok. And okwanguke masibuleleni, and also say take care and God bless. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.